Hey, it's Mark A Squared. In the last video, 007, I took one of these Sparrow cutaway locks. This is the one that is all standard pins. I took the one that was serrated and picked it on camera and then disassembled it, gutted it, right? Now, I said I was going to clean it up, and this one, I put a little bit of brasso on this because I like a shiny lock. What I've done to the new one, to the modified one below here, it looks quite different now. With the with essentially the edges are more rounded. I like to have that in my hand more. This has very sharp edges along, not sharp, but like very distinct edges along the edge here, here, etc. Even these edges here are pretty harsh. I've there we go. I've toned them down. I did polish it up, and you could sort of, let's see if I can get the aim here. You can sort of see my t-shirt there, black and white t-shirt. Polished it up, but I did not take it to a mirror finish because I discovered I didn't have all the proper polishing papers, all the glass paper and stuff. I really needed to get all those final little scratches out. As I do this, you can kind of see them on the surface there. And let me see, my lenses over here, I believe. Oh, look at that. Yeah, there's my hand. So you can see my hand in the reflection. So I got it pretty darned polished up considering. All right. Did not do very much inside the chamber there because the pins are going to, and I realize it's all out of focus, the pins are going to be visible in those slots there. So against the darkness of the uncleaned metal there, the unpolished metal. But I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to try and assemble it all on camera. Let's see here. So, zoom in just a little bit here. I'm going to review what I've got set up here. Now, it started out as all serrated pins. It also started out as like a standard one of these, oh, you can't see what I'm tapping on. Started out as one of these barrel keys that kind of comes with the Sparrow lock. So I've eliminated that from the formula here as well. I bought a collection of Slage pre-cut keys. And so what we've got here is I'll be rekeying this one to, it's a 6-pin now, 351335. I discovered that in my collection of pins, the key pins that are solid brass, just brass colored like that, apparently I don't have any of this one cut. So I decided to just go ahead with all the colored ones, which I thought was an interesting system. So the colors here, 3, 3, 3. All right, so all the red ones are 3. 5 is the green one, they're green, and the 1 is the purple one. So without having looked anything up on the internet, I'm guessing this is a code that will match for any of the key pins in here, right? But what I discovered was, of all those brass ones that are in there, I did not have one of these. This specific size, every other tiny little one like this that I have would lock up when I would put it, this slot here. When I would put it in and try and insert it, it would bump and I couldn't get it to move through. So this is what I have chosen, right? So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the key, I'm going to put the key in the lock, right? Let's see, I'm going to aim down here, click right there. So we can see the keyway, all the interaction going on in there. I'm going to take the pins one at a time. I'm going to stay focused up here because that's a more interesting view, I think. And I'm going to take one at a time here, just drop these in. And this is that tiny little one, that one cut. Oh, I realized I'm floating. Let me get back over here. I don't care if I'm going to take one take. And so if it looks stupid there for a moment, it looks stupid there for a moment. I need to get that. Spin that bad dog around. Ding. And you know what? I'm just going to use my fingers because I can. And it's just that last one. If I just get it to go in. There we go. So very colorful, very nice. Okay, pretty. goes in here, right? And if it inserts properly and turns properly, then it should function with those driver pins. So these are the key pins. I'm going to set that down right here. I'm going to set that down right here. I'm going to pull the key out. And what I noticed is I actually had to go through and select some specific little red pins because some of them were, I don't know, either they had little like defects maybe that were keeping them from actually sliding into the chamber there. So I'm going to leave that sitting right here. I'm going to leave the key underneath it just so that it's balanced and stuff, right? Now this is the part that I kind of hate. I have to put all these pins into here. And it's a little finicky, it's a little fidgety, and I don't have the right light really. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to work up here, right? And this way I have all the space to work in. Just to note, that's 6 minutes so far of video. So when I'm going to document how long things took, you know. But the first thing that I have to do is I have to, okay, so this is the front 1 through 6 pins, right? Now the idea here is I have, and actually let me do that first. I'm going to zoom in again. So what we have is, for the first pin chamber, I have a serrated pin, just to make sure that everything can line up neatly and, you know, keep the keyway lined up make the chambers align. First thing is the serrated pin so that the mostly standard bit of it keeps everything aligned. Then we have a standard spool. I'm going to put them all with the small side down because I'm not expert with the keying and how things are going to interact. I realized I could flip it over and get a different feel out of this end than from this end. But for now, you'll notice that all the spools, and the first 2 here are spools, or I should say, like I said, serrated spool. So slots 1, 2, and 3 are taken care of. The third one here is a mushroom pin. See, so it's slightly different in that it has that kind of spool end here, but then it kind of mushrooms out like the base of a mushroom. It's an upside down mushroom if you think about it that way. Another version of that same kind of pin is these T-pins, and I've never used these before, so I thought I'd use them now. It's like half of a spool, right? So the top half here that has to interact with the springs. So yeah, last time I was calling them screws for whatever reason, my brain was fried. They're springs. These guys here, right? The springs. So that there's enough surface so that they won't fall through the top of the spring. I'm using the heavy end or the spool end towards the spring there. And then so visible in the lock, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chambers, right? So 5 pin chambers are those first 5 pins. We will see those as we're picking. I'll pick it in a separate video because it's already at almost 9 minutes in length here. But I'm also going to put back, let's drop it. Also going to put back here in that 6th pin chamber a spool. I'm going to put that one also with the tight end or the small end down. That way they're all consistent. I'm imagining this is going to be a hard lock to pick. I'm not sure, but let's see. So first order of business is I've got to get springs into all those chambers, right? Easiest way to do that is let's see if I can do this with a view down the camera and just toss that bad dog in there. Really not getting a good shot. There we go. Toss that bad dog in there. Just let her drop. Now that's the 6th one that's hidden, so I can't see that one to confirm that it's there. I know it's there though, right? All the springs are the standard ones that came with the Sparrow lock, and the replacement springs that came, like in the replacement kit. So they're all Sparrow springs, they all should work with this lock. I have an assortment of, oops, and see I just dropped there right through my fingers. I have an assortment of other springs that I'll eventually get to incorporating as well and doubling them up or whatever to get extra different tensions. But for now, I'm just going to go with what we got here. I need to These springs just keep, this one just keeps jumping right away from me. I do have key pinning tweezers that have that little round side on them. Let me switch to those. So I'll use these instead right now. I don't know how useful those are for the springs. I guess that's pretty good. And then I can just go like so. And let it go. Now that one I can confirm is in there. Let's see, tap. See, that's the first side of the window here, the 5th pin we could see. So, tally-ho. I will take it and do it this way. Can't really see what I'm doing. 1, 2, 3. Oh, if I open my fingers up, I can get a little light through the window and boom. Okay, so those first 2 are done. I'll flip over to this way now, and I can just do from the back 3. Slots 3, 2, and 1, I should say, in that order kind of thing. So let's see here. 3. Yep. Okay. I need to figure out how to make this bad dog like follow focus. It does not want to do that on a regular basis. Might just be the tiny little view I'm trying to get it to shoot on. Sorry if I babble. I tend to defocus and just talk, you know. Okay, anyway, so we can now see in there pretty clearly, actually, at about 11.5 minutes of the video, that 5 springs, we know the 6th one is in there. I can wave to it and you can see my reflection, which is what I wanted out of this project. So now I have to get these pins. Into the here without everything flying, all over the damn place. So what I've got to do is, with my follower here, show that right in there. Right now, I'm going to work my way. Well, I'm going to work my way from pin 1 backwards because I have this weird follower. Well, I think it's weird in that I want one that has right up to the end with the core length, because what happens is the pins get trapped on this and I can't push it through. Whereas here I could do that. The idea is that you should be able to slide it back and forth both ways. So I guess I have what I have. So I'm going to use what I've got. But let's see. Now I don't really have light coming in. What happens if it's real dark in there, but you'll have to see as I go along what happens here. So I've got the first hole exposed. I just thought what I could do is go grab a flashlight, but I don't want to interrupt the video. I want it to just flow here. So let's see. So I'm going to take that pin, and the part that I want to interact with the key pin is the part that I want facing up. In this case, it's the serrated edge that I want to interact at the key pin end of the interaction here. And if I can get that slide into the hole. Yeah, okay, so there it is. And actually I realized I'm going in the wrong darn direction here. I need to start at the back to work my way forwards, because otherwise the pins are lost, right? So I need to do this, which actually now I could actually see down there, and I've got a nice view. That first one I could kind of, let's see what I can do with this first one here. It's going to be a spool pin, and I can come in. I'm going to just come in this way and just drop that bad dog. I've got it upside down. I need to flip that over. It's hard to, oh boy. Let me get that back out. So I want to make sure that I've got the narrow end upwards. I'm going to flip these tweezers. Pete's sake. Okay, so I'm going to use these tweezers that are meant for this. It doesn't really make it all that much easier, but it kind of does. So there we go. I've got that first pin sitting there waiting to be interacted with. Now let me get this driver back ready to be interact with it. So I'm pushing kind of a little bit of pressure on that pin, because it'll, the same way that I pick it, it binds up back there. All right, so with the little slot, and then I can push that pin down with my tweezer and slide my gizmo forward at the same time. And if I'm graceful, it'll do it. Mark's not graceful today. Let's see here. I can see it down there. I don't care if it's visible on camera so much because we'll see. There we go. As we get closer up, we'll see as it goes. That's 15 minutes on video, by the way. Let's see. So I could use the fact I can have that light through there to kind of just work my way back without getting that last 6th pin to pop out. Okay, so I can barely see it there. I don't know if that's good on video or not. I'm going to try and focus. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. So you can see the little pin sticking out there with the serrations up. It's about to pop out if I'm not careful. Because there, I'll push it. I pushed it to the follower forward up to the next pinhole. Now I'm not going to be able to stay in that zoom focus because it's going to just be zonked all over the place. But let me try to do this. So I'm going to grab the next one, which is the pin that has that little point on it. And I want the little point upwards, the fat point downwards. And now I've got to do this like this. So let's see. Get it in there. And I got to try and maneuver this punk to the proper orientation. Maybe now I do need these because I can't seem to get the other one in there. Okay, and I caught it on the edge of the spool of the stem of the T there and just shoved it forward. Now that's gonna be the first one I should be able to see. Let me get my follower all the way forward. I can now say I can manipulate it. The follower is holding it in place as if it were a core. But there's that T pin. Let's see that all the way right where my fingertip is there. It has no fat base on it, and it's going to interact with the key pin in a certain way that I've never experienced before because I've never picked that kind of lock. So it'll be a new experience, right? So let me see. I'm going to try and see if I could, I want to be real freaking careful because one little mess up and I'm picking pins up off the floor and it's just everyone's crying, Let's see. Is that the one? 1, 2. I want to go with number 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Yep. I want to go in the space number 4 down here. Let's see. Am I exposed to that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, cool. I've got a mushroom pin. Oop, I'm zoomed in. Well, let's see if we can do that with the zoom in. Let's see what happens. Does it freak out at all? I want the head of the mushroom towards my key pins, I believe, for the most slidey interaction. What happens is instead of being straight, it's kind of a cone, right? I'm holding on to the head of it there, and it'll interact. It'll lock up in a way that did I just put it right in the right spot? I think I did, or it might be in the one ahead of it. Yeah, I accidentally put it in the slot 3, but I can get it to just pop right out, and I'm going to lose it on the floor. I'll be right back. That is 18 minutes and 33 seconds so far. I don't know if I'll be able to cut out coughs or not, but it's not COVID, I swear to God. Let's see here. I'm going to squeeze this little guy right there and then try to do this. This is what I was saying. It gets all fidgety and all over the fucking place, and I need a system that's going to work better than this simple. I mean, this should work for it. It should be fine, but for whatever reason, I need specialist fucking tools, right? Again, pardon my language. I tend to get a little saucy when I'm complaining about stuff. Let's see here. I'm going to aim it this way. You can't see anything. Okay. Let's see here. Put it all the way to the back. Let it go. I think I got it in the right slot. Push it down, push it forward. That one's in. Push this forward. Show me the money. Okay, so now we've got a T-pin here. and the mushroom pin with the mushroom head down. If any lock pickers out there have an opinion about the orientation of what I'm doing here, I would love to hear from you in the comments. I don't know anything. I'm learning from you guys on YouTube, on the internet, etc. I'm on the Discord, Mark A Squared, and I'm on Reddit. So I mean, let's learn together, I guess is what I want to say. I don't know. I'm just babbling as I go along here. Let's see. So now I can see 3 holes in there. Right? 1, 2, 3. I mean, other than this large space here where you could see the pick moving, or the tweezers moving, because that's like a gap that is just allows easier picking, I guess. I don't know. Not easier picking, I should say easier gutting and redoing like I'm doing here, because it provides a little bit of light in there. But it is also just, part of the cut of the lock here. So let's see, I'll put that in there. Pick that up. This was just a standard spool pin. That's on slot 3. That went in relatively easily. Knock on freaking wood. Okay, so now I've got 2 in there. Actually, that's kind of a cool shot. Let me see, I'm going to grab this pin here. You can't really see what I'm doing off below it, but that's fine. I'm going to come in and I'm going to drop that right there. Carefully. He's going to drop that right there, and it's popped. There it goes. Okay, so that was relatively useful of that tool to have that slot there, isn't it? I'm betting that's why it's... I also know there's locks that have it engaged with this as well. Anyway, I'll shut up. Here comes a serrated pin, and I'm going to put the serrations towards the top so that they interact with the hole here, all right, with the shear line. I don't know if you could really... Yep, there we go. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so let me slide that up a little bit. Let me flip this over. Okay, so we have serrated. You can barely see the serrations. If I can get it to focus a little bit, that'd be better. Serrations are kind of buried below the curve of the thing. There's one visible right there. Spool, mushroom upside down, T-pin, spool hidden back here. All right? I'm going to zoom back out here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this thing here, cylinder, the core. I'm going to put my key in here, like so. I'm then going to very carefully follow the follower, make sure I got the right end. Yeah, I got the right end. Follow the follower back through without the thing aligned, right? So that the key pins are not interact. I lost one. See, that's what I was afraid was going to happen. So, and there it all goes. So I've got to redo that because probably this stupid follower turned. Yeah, see, the follower turned and I lost it. So I'm gonna cut here and I'll come back and I'll repin it. That's a 23-minute video so far. So that's why what I was afraid of, right? That it's going to take forever and that I'm going to drop everything. But, this is the way that this shit goes. And this is the way this kind of learning stuff goes is I'm going to gonna expound here while I pick up my pins and stuff. I appear to have lost one. Let's see. Now, here's a mushroom. Yeah, I still appear to have lost one, don't I? Mushroom tea. And it's probably sitting either on the floor or it's in the core here still. We'll see. The Bible. Yep, there it is. Okay, so that's the actual mushroom. Okay, interesting. So that's actually a spool? Yeah, that's the spool. Okay, so lesson learned there is that out of not being careful with this fucking thing with the gap there, I accidentally aligned it just enough that it spilled all the pins because they're sprung with springs, right? Pushed them all up through the little gap on the thing as I pulled it back. I'm not sure why it turned in my hand, and maybe I wasn't paying enough attention because I'm babbling for the camera. But I've done this multiple times, and it's happened that it's a pain in the ass multiple times. And now I just flipped it over without anything in there and popped a couple of the springs. Luckily, they're easy ones. Spring for the pins 1 and 3. So I'll get everything reoriented here. Go have a quick beverage, I think a little bit of water maybe, and then I'll be back for a second part of this video. I'm going to see if I can splice them together, but it might be that I've got actually part A and part B. We'll see. Cut.